Hello, my name is Hasan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast, Shorts. There's no co-host on these Shorts episodes. These are now around 6 to 8 minute long observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 6 to 8 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book that has been sitting in your Amazon queue that you just haven't been able to bring yourself to purchase for around the last 6 months. This is an oldie but a goodie from back in 2016. I observed, quote, business students, modern-day communication-savvy native users of the information superhighway we've all built for the last 30 or so years, can save the world. The unfortunate thing is that somewhere along the way to cashing out in a cushy consulting position or to advancing in organizations by whose culture they are troubled, someone forgot to let them in on the world-saving news. This is not unusual. Partially, it's due to the echo chamber of higher education, the faculty who teach from a worldview and frame set on preserving the world they teach in, and a corporate world still focused, despite all evidence of disruption to the contrary, on achieving cookie-cutter command and control outcomes on a quarterly basis. There are, of course, a range of types and varieties of business students, from undergraduate business majors, dutifully studying their work at second, third, and fourth-tier institutions, all the way to community and junior college students, older than average, who return to business programs to either run a small business better or just to provide for their families. Finally, there are the top-tier classic business school students from elite institutions who are studying to become the next masters of the universe, or to join Forbes magazine's 30 Under 30 list. These are the people that we traditionally think of as dominating the salaries and cultures of corporations and organizations where MBAs are hired, or heading to prison for some financial crime by the time they're 40. Except, at all levels, the work that matters is shifting away from what a human being used to do well toward what an algorithm, large language or otherwise, can do even better. Accounting, spreadsheet analysis, financial reporting, supply chain management, and on really matter less and less as topical areas of focus and interest and study in a world where information is changing hands faster than the left to right swiping motion on a smartphone screen, or faster than you can get a prompt into Chat GPT, whatever number they're up to now. The work that does matter in organizations to individuals and the work that is going to reshape the global paradigm for the next 50 years doesn't show up on spreadsheets and isn't open to traditional economic analysis. And it never really was, but industrialists of the past century who built the old paradigms that are moribund before our very eyes still want MBAs and anyone in a business program of any kind to continue to believe otherwise. Philosophically, there must be a change, and practically, of course, in how we teach bright, young, ambitious people at all levels, from community college programs to the Ivy League, to succeed with outcomes that will be measurable, not in terms of dollars and cents, though that is important and that will come, but in terms of people, connection, and the continuing malleability of human nature. But underneath that paradigm, what exactly would a 2-year immersive MBA experience look like, Hasan? Well, here's a rough idea of how practically an MBA program would look, one focused on getting bright, ambitious, internet-native students to develop and nurture the kind of work that will grow organizations for the challenges of the 21st century. Year 1, Semester 1. Ethics, sustainability, conflict and dispute resolution skills, failure, success, and resilience. Semester 2, people management, the psychology of supervision, storytelling and persuasion, and listening. Capstone project, peer-reviewed and focused on building a functioning business in the real world. Year 2, Semester 1, finance, accounting, supply chain, analysis. Semester 2, persuasive writing, digital virtual leadership, organizational culture, and restorative justice. Capstone project for year 2. Go and turn your peer-reviewed project from the first semester into an actual functioning business. And after all of this, there must be, of course, a follow-up. But not in the traditional sense of did you get a job and how much does it pay, which is what all those career readiness offices at all those MBA programs are focused on, which are questions that really only, of course, interest the federal student loan originators. Instead, follow-up with these students would be focused on the only metrics and tracking the only metrics that really matter: failure, success, long-term growth, and connection. Here are a few questions that those career readiness and federal student loan originators could ask. Did you fail in 5 to 7 years after the program? Did you succeed in 5 to 7 years after the program? What quote-unquote dent, if any, did you make in the quote-unquote universe? Or who are you helping might be better. And that's really it. With such a program, the MBAs we are turning out from all institutions would be prepared to save the world from the current troubles and hypocrisies that have caused many corporations to collapse under the inability to change for the future that is coming and the one that is here right now. Close quote. Like I said, it's an oldie but a goodie from 2016. And well, that's it for me. Thank you for listening and subscribing to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast. If you're listening to this on any of the major podcast players, like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, please go ahead and leave us a 5-star review and write a little bit in there. A couple of sentences is good enough. That actually helps us game those algorithms that I was just maybe addressing. And, of course, it helps us grow the show. Tell all your family, tell all your friends, and tell the leaders in your life that you know that need to be listening to this show that this show exists. By the way, if you want to get started on the leadership path yourself, or you know some people who need to go on the leadership path, HSCT Publishing, the home company of Leadership Toolbox and Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast, can help you and your team do that. So check out our training webinars, coaching services, and more at leadershiptoolbox.us. We are remote, we're live, we're in person, we're on video, and we've got leadership development solutions for your civic group, nonprofit staff, public sector staff, or even your private sector leaders. And of course, you're going to want to check out our video-based subscription service at leadingkeys.com. That's leadingkeys.com for leadership development on demand. You don't like videos, you don't like training, but you really like the podcast? Well, I would also recommend reading a book. Matter of fact, I'd recommend reading my most recent book, 12 Rules for Leaders, The Foundation of Intentional Leadership. You can get that in paperback, hardcover, or as an ebook on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Ingram Spark, and any other place that you order books online. Finally, of course, we're on YouTube just like everybody else is. We'd love to have you help us grow the YouTube channel, so like and subscribe to the video version of this podcast on the HSCT Publishing channel on YouTube. Just search for HSCT Publishing, or you can search for Leadership Toolbox and hit the subscribe button. Subscribing helps us grow the show, as it does with the audio, just is the same with the video. All right, that's it for me.